Hello, genealogists. This is Craig, and this is Just Genealogy. And we continue our foray, our journey, whatever you want to call it, into Genealogy Standards, second edition, revised. And today we're going to talk about standard number 29, transcriptions. Please remember that I do not represent the Board for Certification of Genealogists. This is just my opinion. So standard number 29, transcriptions. Genealogists transcribe to show or study a modern print version of a document, record, or source. Transcriptions include the entire item, including any headings, insertions, notations, endorsements, or the like, whether on the item's front or back or on an attachment. When formatting is relevant to a transcription's use, the transcription reflects the transcribed item's format, layout, line lengths, and other physical features. Genealogists identify the transcription's beginning and end, annotations between square brackets or in footnotes or separate text show where a source is damaged or illegible, omits expected information, and provides unexpected information. See glossary for definitions of footnote, information, record, noun, and source. I love transcriptions. I just hate doing them. I really don't hate doing them, and they just take more time than abstracts, which is what we're going to talk about next week. I think some of the important words here are modern print version. That means when I transcribe that double F that's an S kind of thing, I make it the modern S. I don't use ancient letter forms in modern text. Some people may disagree with me with that, but I think it just confuses the uninformed reader when it comes time for the uninformed reader to read it, and they might be confused. Now, do remember, it really doesn't say this here, but if there's a misspelling in a document, then you have to misspell it in the transcription, which means that you also have to add a set of square brackets and a sic. So that's another issue, and I'm not sure they really dealt with this issue here clearly. Headings, insertions, notations, endorsements. I think the important part here is that if you transcribe a document, you have to transcribe the complete document. Don't transcribe just a piece of the document, unless you're saying that it is a piece. In other words, many times you'll see a document and then there's a clerk's endorsement. Well, if you're going to transcribe it, you should include the clerk's endorsement, because sometimes there's information in that endorsement that might be helpful to you. The information on the back, don't forget the use of the word over in a lot of documents where they actually tell you there's something on the back, and then you either don't see the back because it's not there because you're looking at microfilm and somebody forgot to do the back, or you've just gone over and missed the back. I've had a situation more than one occasion where people would make statements and they couldn't figure out why something had happened, but the answer to their question was on the back of the document. Like, why was this person's pension disapproved, kind of thing? And then when you looked on the back of the document, it was a pass for a civilian, a pass to go between the lines for a civilian. The guy wasn't entitled. He was a spy, but not a member of the military, so therefore not entitled to a pension. Might have been entitled to something else, but the answer was on the back and no one had transcribed the back or abstract the back, whatever the case may have been. So you want to be sure to identify the transcription's beginning and end, and you want to be sure to make sure that anything that you add is in square brackets. Nothing bothers me more than to see in square brackets the word torn, because that means something's missing from the transcription because it couldn't be transcribed, and it just really irritates me. I've got a case right now where I've got a marriage that's in two different places, one in Frederick County, Maryland, one in Loudoun County, Virginia, same couple, same marriage date. The one in Maryland just says married on that date, these two people, and then it says torn. And the one in Loudoun County is a more complete set of information. And so the question is, where do they actually get married? And I may talk about that sometime, but I think they got married in Loudoun County. So I don't like putting things in footnotes or separate text to show where a source is damaged or illegible, unless it is, I'll say, voluminous, unless it's bigger than the fact. I mean, I could use a footnote to describe the general condition, and that's pretty much what I think a footnote should be used for, because if there's a tear or something like that, and it's specific and in a specific place, I like to know where it is in that specific place. Transcriptions are tough because it forces you to actually look at the document and actually know what those words are. Now, of course, you can just say illegible, but that's no fun. Anytime I see the word illegible, I want to go look at it and see the original document to see if it was illegible to me. And the best case that I can think of something that actually was illegible that I've talked about on a video was Hedgeman triplet. And you can look for the video, but he's got a big ink spot over the hedge part of his name. So he's identified as man triplet in the records when they're indexed, but it's actually Hedgeman triplet. But there's this big ink spot over his name. So you would have to deal with that with square brackets. You might even insert there that, in fact, it was Hedgeman based on other records, but that would be in a footnote that this is Hedgeman triplet based on other records, not in the transcription itself, because the transcription doesn't tell you that. Good use of a footnote. I'm not in favor of separate text unless it's actually right there. Not a separate document. Separate. It has to be right there. Otherwise, it'll get separated somehow. So we've been talking about transcriptions. Not exactly my favorite thing to do, but sometimes it's absolutely necessary. And when I have done it, when I've had a problem because I couldn't understand anything and I forced myself to understand what the word actually was based in the context of the entire document, I came to a conclusion and knew what the word was. Of course, I could have been wrong, but it fit the circumstances. So this has been Craig. This has been Just Genealogy, and we've been talking about standard number 29, transcriptions. Thank you all so very much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. If you have not told your friends, please do. We're well on the way to getting to that 4,000 hours that we need. I thought it was 3,000, but I have to learn how to read. It's 4,000. And we're about halfway there. So if you find value in what I do, please help me get to where I'd like to be. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Do some genealogy today. Maybe even your own. Have a good one.